So many of us have the feeling that we're somehow living outside of ourselves, as if we're forever on the threshold of some version of who we might potentially be. So I have one challenge for you today. It's time to stop waiting to become yourself. Because so much of our frustration comes from that gap between who we are now and who we feel we could be. But the question is then, what is it you can do today, right now, that helps you move further forward towards that center rather than further apart? Because unless we can bring the question back to something that we can actually do, it just stays as another burdensome feeling that we always carry around. Personally, I find that online there's a lot of finger wagging and instruction, but not so much illustration of what all of this actually means. So as such, on this channel, I'm trying to live what it is that I'm trying to express or to teach or that I'm just struggling with. And that's why I try not to talk in abstractions with you guys, but as honestly as I can, going through the real stuff that I'm actually experiencing creatively. So look, how can I illustrate in my own life exactly what I'm talking about and how it relates to this idea of stopping waiting to become yourself? So what does all of this mean for me? Well, I'm on a journey in my 40s to try to do three things. First, to release this damn album. Second, to improve again as a musician. And third, to share as transparently as I can here on YouTube the ins and outs of that journey. However, at the heart of all this, I'm having a really challenging reckoning with myself. And it boils down to this question: why am I not playing more music here on the YouTube itself? And as I've looked at this question, I've realized that I've been somehow hiding behind myself. And when I trace that avoidance all the way back to its root, it's usually sitting on something I haven't wanted to look at. I think, like many people, I've been struggling with the question on some deeper level of if I actually feel good enough. And beyond that, I've been allowing the shadow of that question to block the very work that would help me get good enough to feel good enough. And that's the trap, I think, that we go through, waiting to feel capable instead of doing the thing that builds the capability. So this is a quick check-in, not just for myself, but because I want to prompt you in a question. What is the thing you can really do today that will move you a little further forward towards yourself? And not the perfect thing, just the next thing that brings you in some way a bit closer. If there's been something you've been avoiding, then how can you name it? And how can you lean into it? For me, when I look at this question, all of our avoidance and resistance to doing what we most want to do comes from the fear that if we just do the thing, we might find out we're not quite as good as we wish that we were. But the reality is, avoiding the thing keeps you stuck in the exact place that we fear. So in my case, I'm reacting to that by resolving to make the next steps on this channel by sharing stuff much more loosely. I want to show you guys more of where I'm at right now, rather than having this idealized version of what I'd like to become, and then too often not actually doing it. I've started to understand that perfectionism isn't really just about aiming high. It's all too often a fear response. And the consequence of that fear is that it stops you doing the work to better become yourself. So what all this means for this channel is that I'll be playing more songs, rougher, looser, and in a state of where they happen to be on any given day, and laying them down not as a marker of perfectionism, not something final, but as plots on my graph to get better. This is how, to my mind, the improvement actually happens, not by waiting, but by showing up as you are and letting the reps change you and form you along the way. So if there's one thing that I'd like you guys to take away from this video, it's to have the courage to put your own self forward. There's so much inside you, and the reason you feel frustrated, it's not because that living potential isn't firing inside you. It's because of all the ways that you find to avoid getting burnt by it. So my prompt to myself is that it's time to get raw, guttural and real. And it's time to lean into that potential and to have the courage to damn well believe in it again. You're doing far better than you think, but you must keep faith and you must act. So for anyone who needs to hear this, it's time to stop waiting to become yourself.